some guy out of the middle of nowhere says, "Hey, Morawski, are you raising capital?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't think I ever will again." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Why would I invest with anyone other than you? You've already made the mistakes. You know what to watch out for. My sure bet is in you." And I don't know who it was. I've never talked to the guy again. I don't even know if he knows that I'm raising capital or doing deals. But what I can tell you is that was a very impactful statement in my life because it pushed me to the point where I said, okay, I'm going to go try.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the We're Invested Multifamily Podcast. It is your host, Joshua Adlam. And today I'm so excited because I have a very special guest, Mike. Okay, so you face the charges, you deal with the repercussions of, your actions and whatnot. While you're going through your time and then coming out, what was your mindset? Was it like, man, because me personally, I don't know if I'd have still came back and did real estate, but I know you came back, bounced back, and still was very successful, which I think is a great story and just testament to who you are as a human. But what was your mindset while you were in, and then coming out? What kind of made you feel confident to go right back in it?
Yeah. So probably do a drummer roll right here, because I think it's the redemption piece, right? Yeah. It's not the story of what happens to us; it's what happens for us.
Absolutely.
And I love that, and that a lot of that has to do with my walk with the Lord today, right? So I went into prison, and I always tell people I never flew private. I didn't have a boat. I didn't live in a big house. I didn't have a fancy car. Matter of fact, I had a Jeep Cherokee I drove that had 289,000 miles on it with a broken ball joint, So I was a neighborhood baseball coach. I was home most nights for dinner. And I got ripped from that to live in a 12 by 12 room with 3 men I didn't know, nor did I like, wondering what the heck happened in my life. 3 weeks in, my wife divorced me. She wrecked me. I walked around.
Did you find out she just wrote you a letter? Or how did you find out?
She told me on the phone.
On the phone. Wow.
So phone in prison is funny, right? You get 15 minutes on a phone call, and then you can't get back on the phone for 30 minutes. And then so it's kind of hard to have a conversation like that in 15-minute segments.
Absolutely.
Between times when the compound's open or not open. So a lot of prison stories. We don't want to get into those, but so I walked around wondering how I'm going to get through today, much less 10 years of this sentence that I have. Prison's not a place for a man to cry, and I cried for 18 months every day. So I was about 6 weeks into this stay, and I walk in the gym one day. And I always tell people, I say, look, I was just window shopping. I wasn't looking to pick up a weight. I wasn't going to work out. I'd gone from running marathons to being 35 pounds overweight. Absolutely hated myself. I wanted to kill myself. But I just didn't have the courage to do it. This guy walks up to me in the gym that day, and he goes, hey, look. He goes, don't let these people beat you. All they want to do is take from you everything you've ever known. They can destroy your business. They can take everything you have. They can destroy your family. But what they can't take is who you are. They can't take what you're made of. They can't take what caused you to build that $100 million company. He goes, you get all that back. He goes, what you have to do right now is work on you. He goes, come to my class every day, start working out. You'll start to lose weight. You'll start to feel better. And Joshua, we all get these defining moments in our life, right? Yeah. And we have a choice at that point. We can either pursue it or not. And I don't know what happened that day, but it was like somebody flipped a switch, and I went, okay. I started going to his class. I started working out, losing weight, feeling better. I wound up going to college. I got a bachelor's degree in theology. I wrote 2 books. One of my books is Exit Plan, Your Complete Guide to Multifamily Investing and Why You Need an Exit Plan Before You Buy. And I wrote that here's why. You're going to love this. Because everybody teaches you how to get in a business, how to find a deal, get in it, and operate it. Nobody teaches you how to get out and maximize your profit.
Very true.
And I wanted people to understand how to do that, because I've done some really great deals as well as had some bad ones. So I wrote that book. I wrote a book on property management. I wrote a couple of home study courses. I wrote an ethics course. I taught real estate investing, property management, and ethics in prison for 6 years. Pretty ironic, a federal inmate teaching ethics, right? I was on an outreach program. I went in the community. I told my story to small business owners and college students. And I happened to meet a professor at the University of Minnesota. He and I co-authored a paper together that we had published in the Business Journal of Ethics that gets taught today at the collegiate level for forensic accounting and sales and marketing classes.
Wow.
Came home, thought I was going to go into coaching and training business, which I did. And I'm coaching some clients and realize I need to learn how to underwrite again. So I dig out my old institutional underwriting tool and I start going through it and start figuring it out. And I find this deal in Florida that you guys manage for us. And I went to one of my partners and said, hey, I think we should do this. Or one of my coaching clients, he was a coaching client at the time. I went to him and we decided to do the deal. Well, about a week into us put this together, I said, hey, there's no way you and I are going to be able to handle all this together. I said, we need another partner. So he agreed, and I brought another one of my coaching clients to that deal with us, and she's my life source. I have to give her credit because she handles all of the stuff that I don't have the headspace to handle, right? Subscription agreements, LLC agreements, legal docs, investor portals, investor calls, all the marketing, all the bill paying, all the minutia that can bog somebody down. So,
right.
So the three of us did this deal, and it went well. And two of us, Rochelle and myself, have gone off and done some other things. Kevin's gone in another direction, loves what he does. It's funny because during that first deal, our securities attorney said, hey, I think I can get you approved by the SEC to go back and be an issuer of securities and a sponsor of deals. And I laughed. I said, yeah, right. Go ahead, see what you can do. Well, we never talked about it again. And 3 months later, she came back with a written approval from the SEC that said, that I can legally be raising capital.
Wow.
So world's kind of come full circle.
Wow.
I have some big regrets, but for the most part, I learned a lot. And I tell my story, and I think this is really important. I tell my story because I want to provide hope and inspiration for people.
Absolutely.
I might have been in a prison behind a wall, but there's so many people around us that are imprisoned in their own mind. There's people that are trapped in addiction. There's people that are trapped in past sexual or physical abuse situations. There's people that have trauma in their life and they're trapped. They can't get out. And I just want to encourage people, find a mentor, get a coach, find somebody who can hold you accountable and help you get out. Coaching's not therapy. I'm not a therapist, but it's in the action that we take in helping people move on. So I tell my story every opportunity I get because I want people to realize that we're not defined by what we did.
Absolutely.
Or who we were yesterday. We're defined by who we become and how we move forward.
Man, that is amazing. And I resonate with that so much. Kind of, we talked a little bit about the faith aspect and, just being men of God and how that has played a part in our lives and in our journeys as far as pursuing business and still loving people and trying to live as our Creator did and Jesus did. My thoughts go to, all right, you just got out, you're buying your first deal, right? What was your confidence level in buying that deal? Did you feel nervous at all? Was it like, man, I don't know? What made you feel confident about buying that initial deal? And I know you bought more since and underwriting so many deals. What gave you that confidence, that boost?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified. But the best way through around our fear is through it, right? So I was on a podcast one day, just before we bought this deal. It was a lunchtime deal back during COVID. And, I was on this Zoom. There were probably 150 people. And some guy out of the middle of nowhere says, "Hey, Morawski, are you raising capital?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't think I ever will again." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Why would I invest with anyone other than you? You've already made the mistakes. You know what to watch out for. My sure bet is in you." And I don't know who it was. I've never talked to the guy again. I don't even know if he knows that I'm raising capital or doing deals. But what I can tell you is that was a very impactful statement in my life because it pushed me to the point where I said, "Okay, I'm going to go try." And you know what? Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. But if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
Absolutely.
So
that's awesome, man. You do need those people speaking into your life and moments like that can really help you push you over the edge. That I think that's so important. And you kind of talk about we're not defined by what we've done. Like we're defined by who we are, and kind of going through that journey for yourself and finding out who you were and who you could be,
right.
and reaching your potential of who you want to be, I think was so important. A lot of people, like you said, are imprisoned in their mind, especially, today when we have this, my generation of just kind of being entitled, and you got the social media, and you have all these other factors that are kind of, people are helping people get into comparison and kind of dictating, how they view the world and what they think of themselves. It's a very, very unique situation, perspective that you get to have from going through all those experiences that you went through in the past. Moving on into kind of like, now that you've got, that deal underway and you've done some more coaching, you've done some more deals, what is your outlook, not just on real estate and the market and kind of your goals, but life? What is kind of like the legacy you want to leave in real estate and beyond real estate?
Yeah. The legacy is the comeback legacy, right? It's, hey, listen, I had all this great success. Had a great life, but I was egotistical, and I don't want to be that guy today. So I watch myself all the time. I stay committed to the Lord. I work on myself. Sober today, right? And I work. So my commitment is, I got another 20 years in me, right? And I feel that, first of all, retirement's not in the Bible, right? So look at some of our predecessors like Noah,
right?
So I'm going to keep working. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it. I want to deliver a product to my investors that I change their lives financially for the positive. So I want to create cash flow, long-term wealth, and tax planning strategies that they're going to benefit from today, tomorrow, and that their families can benefit from. So we're going to continue to bring good opportunities to the marketplace for them to invest in. It's a tough market right now. I had to underwrite $1 billion in transactions. That's with a B, 90 deals, in order to find one that made sense. And we wrote a bunch of LOIs, and we got rejected at the altar, and the bride ran out because it just wasn't, the deals didn't make sense any higher than what we wanted to pay for them.
Yeah.
So when you find a deal, and you have to open a lot of doors and uncover a lot of rocks, a lot of people have left this space. They've gone to the car wash business. They've gone to self-storage. They've gone to industrial. They're sitting on the sidelines. I honestly believe today somebody who's saying, "Oh, I'm holding on to my dry powder and sitting on the sidelines," is missing one of the greatest opportunities in history. You can think that because that's a great thing to hide behind, because you don't want to say, "I'm afraid of the market."
Yeah.
Okay. Because I believe whether you're an institutional investor or whether you're a private investor, you're making that statement because you're afraid of the market right
Absolutely.
now. And it's okay to be afraid, but when you make calculated risks, Joshua, interest rates are 7% today on new debt. But when we can go assume a mortgage at 3.6%, What's your excuse now?
It's a no-brainer.
Right. So I say that because that's what a lot of people tell you today. And I believe right now is a time to position yourself in front of the next bull run. There's going to be a massive redistribution of wealth in our country. And either you're going to take advantage of it or not, or you're going to be sitting on the sidelines and go, oh, when did this change? Be part of the change.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And I agree 100%. We feel the same way here at Atrium. We're looking at the markets consistently and kind of just seeing like, man, in the next few months, the more pain that comes, the more people that bow out because they're afraid or they don't understand. And not saying this like as viciously or anything like that, but that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to investing in the market and
Right.
economy is, people bow out. And the more that people do that and the more that, we will be prepared for opportunities to come. And I agree, a major wealth distribution is coming 100%. And we want to be a part of it. We want to be players and kind of take heed to what's coming, into the market. And we encourage other people to do too. And one thing that I always live by is I say, like, man, there's enough out here for everybody to eat and to be wealthy and to accomplish their goals. It's just the taking action. You have to take the calculated risk to take action. And then just studying and being confident in what you're doing.
Right.
I think that helps a lot when you're coming to make these decisions, rather than living in fear and being like, oh, I'll wait till it goes down or a rate or this and that. It's like, find a way to get it done. If you really want to be a part of the game, you really want to accomplish your goals.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So being that said, for those who are still kind of on that fence, they're still straddling the line of, I'm not sure if real estate's for me, if I need to wait 5 more years until I kind of buy my first deal. What's some practical advice that you would give for someone looking to jump into the game and really start their legacy of wealth building and doing real estate?
Yeah. So what I would be doing if I was somebody new or even somebody seasoned right now is I wouldn't be sitting around. I'd be building relationships with brokers so that you could, and I'm an advocate for brokers. You should have relationships with 5 to 7 brokers in every submarket that you want to invest in.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be building those relationships today. The next thing you should be doing is you should be sourcing sellers directly and looking for off-market deals, finding deals that you can get to today or get to when the market changes. The third most important relationship you should be building today is with private money individuals. There's not a day that goes by that I don't meet 2 to 5 new people and tell them what I do and take their temperature and see if they have an interest in investing passively. A lot of people want to be in real estate. A lot of people don't know that you can invest passively.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about tax benefits.
Yeah.
Hey, I can bring a market conservatively. I can bring a property to the market today conservatively at a multiple of maybe 2. And I believe that by the time that deal's done in 4 to 5 years, I'm going to be greater than 2 on that multiple because we're going to have the wind at our back. So, I always tell people, I say, hey, it's like we came over the top of the mountain. We're coming down the backside of the mountain now, right?
Yeah.
Markets are falling out. Interest rates are going up, unemployment. But anywhere now coming down or coming back out, you get position and you can't time the market.
Yeah.
I've been doing this 30 years. You can't time the market. So you have to be able to, get in front of it and just ride it.
I love that. I think that's great advice. And again, coming from somebody who has 30 years experience, great perspective on kind of how you can adapt and set yourself up for the next 30 years of your life in real estate investing. Kind of as we wrap up, I do want to ask you one final question that I think is very telling of, the individuals that we have on, and I think and viewers love to hear. And we kind of talked about it a little bit before the call, but if you just had to summarize your purpose, yourself in one sentence, what would you say? Who's Mike Morawski?
It's kind of 2 words. First of all, I'm very tenacious as an individual. I never give up, and I don't say no, and I'm resilient. And bouncing back is critical. I have a mission statement in the apartment business, and that's to provide safe and secure housing for my tenants. I think there's a lot of single parents out there, single moms especially, that when they're at work and that door closes behind that kid going in the hallway or into their apartment, they want to make sure that they're not being hassled or chased by a gangbanger down the hall. And and after being in prison, I got a lot of friends that are gangbangers, or were.
Yeah.
And so that's not a demeaning comment. It just means I want my tenants to be safe, right? So I tenaciously work at this every day. My resilience is a bounce back. I don't want to be known as the guy who failed, but I want to be known as the guy who failed and came back. There's a great story in the Bible about Job, right?
Yeah. And
Job lost everything.
Everything.
He lost, his wife, his cattle, his money, his land, and never cursed God,
never
right?
cursed God.
I can't say I never cursed God, but I can say that, God's blessing me again today, and it's because I'm able to bless other people. There's a long answer to your short question.
No, that's beautiful though. I love that. Like, I just because when you said Job, I'm like, dude, Job. Like, for those who don't know the story of Job, he legit lost everything. Like, ripped his clothes, wife, friends wanted him to curse God, and he just said no, and God doubled everything. And so to kind of see the correlation for you, man, that is beautiful. Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you so much, man, for your time. This was a great episode. I hope everybody enjoys it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Can't wait to do it again, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, tell people how I get my book.
Yeah.
So thanks, and I really appreciate you having me on, and I really appreciate your hospitality behind this.
Appreciate it.
But if people want to reach me, they can reach out. First of all, I'm anywhere on social media that you're at. I'm Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, which is just crazy. LinkedIn, and you won't see me dancing though on TikTok for sure. And my Facebook group, Multifamily Unplugged, is a great community, a place that people share and communicate, always keeping abreast of new things coming up, opportunities, as well as my YouTube channel, where I'm continually posting new content every day, trying to help people learn, just tips and techniques, things like that, that'll help grow your business. And then my book, you can go to my website at MikeMorawski.com and get a copy of my book.
Awesome. Guys, make sure you show Mike a lot of love and support. Again, we appreciate you for jumping on our episode today and look forward to connecting again soon, man.
Thanks, Joshua. Appreciate it, man.
We're Invested Podcast is produced by Atrium Management Company. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.